my name is Carmen, and today we have a reading for you about somebody who has made a wish, and probably more than once. But the wish that they have, worked towards or just manifested over a long period of time, it hasn't ended up the way they wanted it to. So we have the jinn card. As magic unfolds, a risk as high will arise. Wishes will be granted, but beware the design. It makes me think of this Twilight Zone episode where an older couple who owns a general store happens upon a lamp, and they're making wishes, and of course it never goes well, right? And things at the very end, they're just hoping to get back to where they began instead of losing anything. We've got someone here who has made a wish or worked towards something and not realized that all of their efforts were actually working against them in some way. Maybe we've got someone who was being a bit ridiculous in how they treated others, but they have ended up isolated or on their own. There's no one here who really wants to stand behind them or be associated. In the solitude's embrace, I found my own echo. I whisper to the shadows, my voice finds no fellow. There's no one who wants to be associated with this person. So maybe they got everything they wanted, but as a result of getting everything they wanted, or however they had to acquire it, has resulted in a significant loss in terms of social or like family or status. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of Winchantum. And I hope you're having a good day so far. Hello, Ricardo. Hello, Laura. Hello, Matt. Hello, Pagan. I hope we're having a good day. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedonestarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box for you, as is more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. I think we should start with... We're going to start with the Beginner's Tarot. If you've not heard me say it before, if you are learning to use tarot yourself, the Beginner's Tarot is probably my favorite recommendation for that. It was not my first tarot deck, but one of the things I like about it is all of the information that it gives to you, plus the original Rider-Waite illustration, or Waite-Smith. I don't remember where I got it, but if you search for it online, I'm sure you would find it. At any rate, let's see what else we have for you. Hello, Selena. How are you doing? We have the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Temperance in the reverse. Ooh. This is like all of a sudden everything seems to be off. What I'm picturing in my mind is someone who has a really successful run at a table in Vegas. Whatever the game is that you want to picture is fine with me, but I'm picturing roulette. And this person has been doing well. They've been racking up more money than they sat down with. But it only takes one, right? It only takes one roll of the dice or whatever you want to be playing here for things to change. And so it looked like everything was lined up. I'm going to win. I'm going to be able to afford a new car or whatever it is. And then poof, it was gone like that. Because we have this Two Swords in the reverse. The very first one is bad choices down here. They took it too far. It's like if you were imagining blackjack, if you had 17 and then you still hit, it's like, not enough. Hello, Earthisha, how are you doing? What else do we have? Nine of Swords. So now this person who thought they were getting everything that they wanted instead feels like they are very much so facing a difficult battle or an insurmountable challenge. We've got the Eight of Pentacles, so I do feel like this is having to do with somebody's work life or finances. And that doesn't necessarily mean that, we have someone here who is dealing with a workplace connection that is troublesome. But I do think that there is something to do with your money, or, you know, maybe they're focused on being extremely wealthy, or maybe they're competing with you. But the work they do or the money they have is very core to this reading and what they were focused on. So this could be someone who, no matter what I have to do, I have to make a bunch of money. Even if I have to, you know, lose a few morals along the way, that's okay. It doesn't matter to me. But we have this Two of Cups, someone who's, you know, supposed to be able to rely on this individual to be kind, or at least not selfish. This is like, you know, I'm so focused on getting rich that if I have to steal some money from my great aunt, Beatrice, then, you know, so be it. I'll replace it in a few years. She won't even notice, you know? We have someone who's justifying behavior because of the thing that they're so focused on. Someone who feels like, you know, that reputation, or that, that amount of money is the most important thing. King of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles. I want everyone who knows me to feel like, you know, they look at me with admiration or respect because they know that I am successful. But the problem is we have this Page of Pentacles in the reverse, which is a card that talks about investing in the wrong areas, or maybe using the wrong bank. This is like, well, you know, you almost had it right, but you actually put your bet on red and it ended up being black. Of course, I'm still thinking roulette. We have this Three of Cups, someone who celebrates too soon because they feel like, okay, I'm about to win. There's no way anyone else could take this victory away from me, but they're celebrating before it's actually won. Hello, Hardy. How are you doing? Hello, Azad. Hello, Steve. Hello, Capo. We have the Ace of Pentacles, money, offers, Four of Swords, and the Queen of Wands in the reverse. I feel like this is someone who maybe even stole intellectual property, or like pushed someone out of a company, claimed that they were, you know, the only person that was working on something, maybe isn't even crediting someone if they're, I don't know, producing music or something. But this is, I want all the accolades, I want all the money, I want everyone to talk about me, and I don't want anybody else to get, you know, credit or any kind of like applause. It's all about them. Hello, Sun Moon. Thank you for subscribing. How are you doing today? Hello, Happy. What's going on? Hello, SA. How are you? No, sorry, I don't do flips for money, but if you have a personal question, I do answer personal questions after the general reading at about 30 or 35 minutes in. So feel free to do that instead, and it doesn't have to be $10,000. So we have Alive. Excitement, boldness, vigor, dynamic, zest, movement. So this is that excitement that they're feeling because they feel that they're about to be named the winner, or they're about to get everything that they want. To be honest, this kind of feels like someone who is convinced that they can get away with some sort of betrayal or disloyalty to somebody and claim everything for themselves. It would be like if you bought a lottery ticket with someone and it was partly, you know, your money invested in that, and they went and claimed all the winnings for themselves. So trying to basically take over the abundance that is their own, but also trying to take from someone else's, because there's some greed coming through here, right? And because they are perhaps a little bit too excited about potentially getting what they want, perhaps, you know, celebrating, you know, hey, let's cheers to the occasion. There's something that they miss, or there's something that doesn't go the way that they expected it to. It's like somebody celebrating that they stole your bike, and, you know, they tie the bike that they stole from you outside of the bar. You walk by and you take it back. They're still inside drinking that beer, and you're like, ring, ring, oh, I got my bike back. They're not acknowledging or aware of the fact that what they're celebrating isn't actually theirs. Hey, Grindheart, how you doing today? Did Micah forgive me last night? And it's going too fast. And has she been talking about me this morning? How did she react to your text? When you said her blue iPad came in. So y'all must have had a conversation, huh? I hope that means things are improving, or, you know, that you don't have some, I don't know, frustrations yet to work out. But how did she react? iPad. The blue one sounds cool. I don't stay up to date on these things. I didn't know that was a thing. Hello, Francisco. How are you doing? Hello, Topeka. How are you doing? Hello, Slushy. Hello, Jazz. How are you doing? Oh, well, hello, David. My name is Carmen. Stay for a while. You might find that there is actually such a thing. Hello. Let's see. Is it Christisa or Christy? That might be like the start of your last name, eh? Let me add that for you real quick, Grinder. We got, will we spend time together this month? Will we spend time together this month? Thank you, Grindheart. I've got that added for you. Hello, Christy. How are you doing? Hello, Robert. Hello, Clash. Hello, Holy Ghost. Hello, Eric. How are we doing today? So we've got collective, global, together, united, earth, consciousness, and starseeds. Yeah, this really does feel to me that we've got one person trying to take credit for or trying to take payment for something that a group has done, or something that like maybe 2 or 3 people have done. And it's not fair. It's like, oh, I'm going to, you know, not give you any credit for this storyline or for this music that you helped to produce. There's just this like selfishness and unwillingness to share the spotlight with someone. Hello, Lala. How are you doing? This is What's the News. We have honeymooning, love on the brain, talking often, feeling all the feels, and cuffing season. Single and ready to mingle, ready for a relationship, and on the hunt. So this feels to me like someone who love bombs like constantly. They're constantly on the search for someone that they can kind of give a reason to believe that maybe there could be a relationship, but they just kind of flirt with people in order to get what they want. So this does feel like a clout chaser, or someone who's trying to be famous or rich and not afraid to throw people under the bus or step on people as they get there, right? Thank you. Did she listen to my mom yesterday? To my mom yesterday by saying we should start spending time together. Spending time together. And will she still give me a serious relationship without me asking? Well, I mean, you could ask, right? Does that mean you want her to ask? Without me asking. All right, I have added that for you. Thank you, Grindhard. Hello, Joe. How are you doing? Welcome. Hello, Legendary. Oh, I'm wishing you luck with that interview. This is a tarot reading, Joe. So I'm doing a general reading right now, but folks in the live chat, especially if they've been here before, sometimes will tip in order to ask a personal question. Once I'm done with the general reading, then I tackle those. Hello, Alarming. How are you doing? Oh my. Okay, so we have the knocked up card, pregnancy, expecting, and mothering. And then we have the lust card, greed. Well, we did have greed come out earlier. No protection and inconsiderate. So I'm kind of like not sure if I should show you, but whatever. That's an interesting pair. Okay, you guys? It really is. I think what we have here is somebody who is maybe lying about what's going on to the multiple partners that they have. Increasingly, it's looking like this King of Pentacles could potentially be a woman who's talking about whether or not there is a baby on the way. This could also be, remember, on the Empress card, we often see a pregnant woman, and that can be demonstrative of somebody who is able to build an empire or is bringing about something very creative and sharing that with others, which could be why I was thinking about things like producing an album and excluding somebody that helped them to actually create that music. I feel like we need another candle, so give me a second. But this could also be somebody who feels like they can hit multiple people up for money if they tell multiple people that, you know, they might be a father. So there's a need for some honesty and some truth to come out. This is the Jack-o'-lantern Tarot. Are you talking about me, Holy Ghost? Hello, Freddie. How are you doing? Hello, Jose. I hope you're having a good day. What else do we have? We have the Page of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, and the Three. That is a lot of Earth energy. So we could have Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo on your chart or this person's chart, whoever this is. But we have somebody who builds, I mean, honestly, this feels like a roster, but this could also be someone who's letting people compete for the right to be a preferred partner. We have somebody who's holding back and keeping something secret or not being honest about the entire operation or, you know, the details that would be pertinent to this deal, such as somebody who's trying to lie about who could potentially be a father. Or someone who is trying to make it seem like I did everything all on my own. I didn't need help from anybody. It's chicken bake, and I help. Well, that's actually more collaborative than what I'm saying, but we've got somebody here who is not willing to be sharing that limelight or sharing the paycheck. Someone who wants to make money off of telling multiple people they're responsible for something. But at the end of the day, I do feel like they're going to realize that when they get what they want, it's actually more problematic. They're not looking at the long term, so there could be some overlap here in terms of the people that they're dealing with. So we have the Three of Swords in the reverse and Strength. Why do I feel like there is some collaboration that happens outside of the, like, there are people who work against the King of Pentacles, like, okay, so you don't want to share the paycheck or you don't want to share credit for something that we all worked on. We're gonna partner up ourselves and we're gonna sue you for that. Or, oh, okay, so you tried to tell all of us that we owed you money for this, but as far as I know, there's only one person that could actually be responsible for that. So that seems like fraud. There's like a scorpion tail coming back around, right? Like I thought I was about to get everything I wanted. Maybe I had all the money. Maybe I had, you know, the paycheck come in. But it's like they don't even get a chance to spend this money, or they don't even get a chance to enjoy their fame before something crumbles and the truth comes out. So now they're in a tough spot. Are they going to, you know, fight for this and try to make it seem like everything really is great? Or are they going to be honest about what's really going on? Thank you for subscribing, user. I appreciate that. Hello, how you doing? Nice. Dang, we in a tight spot. Hello, Oi, how you doing? What else do we have? We have the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Cups. Okay, so the number 9 could be important because this is also in the same column as the Nine of Swords, the first one. Yeah, now all of a sudden I'm caught. Maybe we even have, for some of you, identity fraud. But this is someone who's like, all for me, hungry, hungry hippo, I'm taking everything. But there is a problem here with this, and they end up getting caught. Their greed is not going to work out. How's it going, Marcus? Why did the dream I had the other night feel so real? Other night feels so real. And did it actually happen in my past? And since I died and memory was erased, I don't know sometimes. Okay. 2. Awesome. All right, I have written that down. Thank you for the tip, Marcus. Hello, D8. How are you doing? So again, greed, selfishness. Somebody asked for too much. I remember reading an article semi-recently about some dude who decided to just like send invoices, even though he had sold absolutely nothing, but just send invoices to, I think it was like Google or something like that, maybe even Facebook, I don't know. Just sent them invoices and they actually paid him. And he ended up getting caught. But of course, there was a period of time where he was like, I'm getting money for free, baby. This is great. He was probably real pleased with himself. And then that consequence hits, or the justice system figures it out. This is somebody who's like, yeah, I'm cashing in on checks that technically aren't mine, but it's going real great. I'm gonna buy some expensive stuff. Everybody's gonna think I'm cool. And then we have this honest and intelligent person who says, wait a minute, this isn't right. This Queen of Swords could be a lawyer, by the way. Where'd you get this money? Or wasn't there someone else who was supposed to be on that paycheck? Let's talk about what's going on here. Or, hey, why do you have child support coming in from 3 gentlemen when you only have 1 child? The math ain't math in here, okay? So help me out here. I don't know what's going on here. Interesting. So Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and then we also have the Empress. And I feel like this is very much so saying someone felt like, I have, totally gotten everything that I wanted. I don't have anything to worry about. It was easier than I thought. And then, I think someone's on to me. Hello, FTG. How are you doing? Thank you for the floating heart, Snazzy. I hope you're having a good day. So, this is why they say don't count your chickens before they hatch, right? There are, goodness, this is like stuck. There are things that can happen, especially when people are, not operating with integrity, that can threaten those things that you feel like you've already got or that are going your way, right? Did I say hello to Rachel? Hello, Rachel. Hello, little star. How are you doing? I do personal questions at about 30 or 35 minutes in with priority to those who tip or donate. If the super chat doesn't work, you can also donate memberships and I'll pull some cards for you. And then if I feel pulled to questions, I also sometimes do free questions. So we have the 4 of Cups and the Moon in the reverse with the 5 of Cups. This is the Spanish tarot, by the way. I don't like seeing the Moon in the reverse, but it makes a lot of sense because it's clarifying that King of Pentacles energy, the person who is like, oh, you know what? If I just hit enter, 5 more times, does it give me, multiples of that money that I ordered? If I delete somebody's name off of this, then do I get all of it, you know? Now they're feeling regret. Now with this Five of Cups, they're like, oops, I probably should not have done that. Or if I had just not done it for 5 years, if I had stopped after 1 year, maybe I would have got away with it, you know? But someone got found out. Someone, possibly an investigator, possibly an offended party, like, hey, that was supposed to be my money. Now we have someone looking in on it. Now we have someone who could be a lawyer, could be a judge, and they're saying, hey, this looks like fraud. This looks like this is not okay. It looks like you lied, or it looks like you are claiming to own something that you don't. Hello, Momo. How are you doing? Hello, Salvador. So we've got the Three of Cups in the reverse and the Page of Cups. Yeah, I think there's a lack of support because people start to hear what's going on or do the math and realize what's happening. And then now this person's in isolation. They don't have the friendships, they don't have the connections. People don't want to work with them. People don't want to be hanging out with them. People don't want to date them. They're getting a bad reputation for being greedy, and they didn't feel like that would have consequences. They thought they would just be able to, like, you know, Baruch assault it and nobody would have a problem with them. Hello, Michelle. How are you doing? I love to see that, Laura. Hello, MMO. How are you doing? Oh, I'm busy now, but how you doing, boy? Hello, Jay. How's your day going? So we have the Seven of Cups in the reverse and Strength in the reverse. Now someone who was very confident that their little scheme or scam was working feels all of a sudden very exposed, or feels like, okay, this could actually be a pretty big problem. I need to figure out what to do. Ace of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands in the reverse. I feel like they have to explain where this money came from. And that could apply across all the different variations of this story. Yo, it's kind of weird to me that you are getting child support from multiple people. Why do you have all this money? Hey, this is confusing to me. Why do we have a court case for this person and then also for another person concerning the same child? Or if this is a business transaction, hey, you know, I was actually there and I saw that there were other people that were working with you on this. Wasn't that check supposed to be split 3 ways? Weren't there other people working on this with you? There's someone here who starts asking difficult questions, and this King of Pentacles is like, what? I'm sorry, I can't tell you over how rich I am. They don't take it seriously. They're just kind of like, I'm getting everything that I want. It's great. What do you mean? Except for they're not. Now they're realizing that whatever they have acquired or gotten that was unfair is going to be returned. Four of Pentacles. This is like, sorry, you were trying to hoard something or make something yours that was not yours, and now we've come around to tell you that that ain't cool, and you're gonna have to stop. I mean, honestly, that would be the best case scenario, is just somebody saying, hey, we don't like what you're doing, you're gonna have to stop. I think it's really more like, hey, you're gonna have to pay a fine, or you're gonna have to pay this person back, or there might even be, for some people, some jail time. The Four of Swords is a reference to that. So it just depends on what they got themselves involved in and how illegal it is, right? Some people just, they don't really think about it, you know? They're just like, this is a great idea. There's no way I could get caught. It's like, how many movies have you watched and how many real life situations are you aware of? Because life is not a movie. Exactly. Hello, Sayur. How are you doing? Yes, feel free to objectify the like button. Hello, Lindsay. How are you doing? I hope that those Well, how should I say this? I hope things get resolved in a timely fashion. So we have man holding a heart and contract. I thought we had agreed to this, but now it turns out that you are being selfish, or you are, stepping out, lying. So this Queen of Swords is saying, hey, what about this contract? Or what about how this was supposed to be split? What about the other people who worked with you on that? And this is in part, I think, becoming more interesting, or there are more people that are looking into this, because there's someone that was impacted by this that's very likable. Now, I kind of hesitate to say that because, look, justice is justice, and I'm a firm believer that everybody deserves to have justice, that we should all have to abide by the same expectations, right? This is someone who felt that they didn't have to be fair, someone who was greedy, and they have impacted a person that is very well liked. And as often is the case, when someone is well liked, there's a little bit more longevity to the interest in the case, or people who want to actually figure out what's going on. So I do feel like there are some maybe friends in high places that see what's going on, especially if this has anything to do with fame or celebrity status. And they're looking at this King of Pentacles like, something don't smell right. What are you doing over there? That's not cool. Yes, thank you, Rachel. Sayer, you are just fine to go ahead and do that if you'd like. We've got community. There is a concern here that is growing because this community cares about the person, or at least there could be multiple people, right? There's at least one person who were there like, don't mess with them. We know that we can trust them, and it looks like you've taken something of theirs, or it looks like you've framed them as the problem when really you're the problem. All right, we're at 32 minutes, so let's start with those personal questions. This is the Earth and Bones Tarot. Thank you, Brent. I appreciate it. I hope you're having a good day. All right, so for the personal questions, I have Grindhard and then Marcus. So let's start with Grindhard's first question here. Did Micah forgive Grindhard last night? I heard medium. There's still some lingering resentment. 9 of Wands in the reverse, some defensiveness. 7 of Wicks or 7 of Wands in the reverse, and the 2 of Jars in the reverse. I'm going to go ahead and say probably not. I think there's a desire to resolve things. I think there is frustrations here, right? But the 2 of Jars is still in the reverse, or the 2 of Cups is in the reverse. So this is discord, emotional distance. Thank you, Sayer. Current thoughts at work? Boss's thoughts and plans? And should I be concerned? I've got that written down for you. Thank you, Sayer. So the next question is, has Micah been talking about Grindhard this morning? Has Micah been talking about Grindhard this morning? Yes. King of Wands. Page of Jars in the reverse. About an argument or some frustration. 5 of Petals, which is the 5 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Jars, or the 5 of Cups. She regrets something here. She feels like she didn't do right by a situation. So she's talking with somebody about what to say to you. Why the King of Swords in the reverse? There's something here she's not really been honest with you about. So this is what she was discussing with someone. How did she react to the message regarding the blue iPad? Celebration or happiness. And kind of like a knowing, like I knew you would do something cool and that's awesome. I don't know if she specifically like told you that's the one she wanted, but if you did not know that from her, then she's impressed with what you selected. Go for it, Maurice. Hello, Eric. What's up? Yeah, she's excited by what you chose. She likes what you did. Will we spend time together this month? It's kind of looking like no at this point. 6 of Jars or 6 of Cups in the reverse, and 6 of Crystals or 6 of Swords in the reverse. Now, 6 of Swords in the upright is often depicted with somebody in a boat and can talk about travel. But it's in the reverse, and I kind of feel like we have some issues either financially or like logistically. I can't get time off of work, or I don't have a good mode of transportation. Maybe schedules don't align, but I feel like there's an obstacle here, something that is difficult. It could be that someone would have to cancel other plans that they made and they're hesitant to do that. Hello, Ham, how you doing? Oh, that's so cool. I bet they enjoyed it. Hello, Monkey, how you doing? Let's see. Did she listen to my mom yesterday regarding spending time together? Yes, she feels like your mom is very wise. This is one of the few cards that has the Teacher. And then we have the 2 of Wicks or 2 of Wands in the reverse. She was, I think, a little bit surprised or didn't expect to hear some of the things that she did. But I do feel like there's respect for your mom here. I do feel like it's made a little bit clear to Micah what needs to be addressed or what has potentially been problematic. Will she still give a serious relationship with Grindhard without him asking? There's a good chance. We have the 10 of Pentacles or the 10 of Petals and the Emperor. I think there's something about your ability to like take charge, not run away, that is very appealing. But I do feel like there's something here about a long-term relationship being pretty likely. Thank you, Grindhard, and I'm glad that things are better than they were the other day. Yes, I agree with that. Let's get a different tarot deck, and we will move on to Marcus's question. Why did the dream the other night feel so real? Why did Marcus's dream feel so real? King of Swords in the reverse, 7 of Wands, and Death. Is this... Yeah, this is from a previous life, but I feel like it's a different perspective. Was this from someone else's viewpoint? So the dream itself could have been from a really important point where you could have gone a different way, but you didn't. It's like there was a choice where you could have ran toward the problem, but did not. I feel like there was a misconception here that's been cleared up, or you understand things differently. But this dream is, it's like it's coming through in part because there is some enlightenment or wisdom that you can gain from it, even if it feels like it's a different life. So did it actually happen? Not exactly the way that it did in the dream. There's some things that changed in the dream to make it seem more comfortable or more recognizable for you. Maybe even a language change. Hello, Suvik. How are you doing? Geet's feelings for Suvik. Which is no contact. And Geet and Karan relationship status. And what does that say? Sadarupa feelings for Suvik. And you are in contact with that person. Awesome. Thank you for the tip. I appreciate that. I have added it to my list. So I had been finishing up that question for Marcus. Sorry, Marcus, for the interruption. It does feel to me like this is a different life. There was some variation of this that happened, but there's also some things that have been changed. It's like when you're watching, okay, don't judge me too harshly, but the example coming through in my mind is The Haunting. If you've ever seen that show, I want to say at the very beginning, they started off by having the real people from those stories act out what happened. I might be confusing it with a different show, but I swear it was that one. And then they switched to having like actual actors doing that. It was just kind of weird to me that they did that. But it's something here about like details being slightly changed. But yes, something similar to this did happen. We have the Ten of Cups, Nine of Cups in the reverse, and the Lovers in the reverse. This has to do with somebody who failed to make the right choice. It could be you. It could be you better understanding why someone else made a choice that they made. Hello, Patrice. How are you doing? Hello, J.A. How are you? Let's see. And so you did mention also memory. Is the memory slightly different because of Marcus's ability to recall? Like, is he filling in the gaps? Yeah. Okay, so the example that's coming through in my mind is the Jurassic Park scene where they're talking about dinosaur DNA and how whatever they were lacking, they just replaced with frog DNA. Something familiar, right? Instead of the thing that seems kind of alien. So there's parts to this dream that your brain filled in whatever was missing. So that could be faces, that could be names, that could be places. But the general storyline is indeed something that has happened. All right, so Marcus, I hope that helps and that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Let's move on to Sair's questions. I'm going to get a different tarot deck for you as well. Sticking with the Egyptian theme, though, this is the Tarot of the Nile. Hello, Trevor. Merry Christmas to you as well. Sad Lord, there's so much that you could wish for that's better than that. Why not $1 million and world peace? So we've got, what are the current thoughts at work, at Sair's workplace, please? My, the devil. Ooh. That sounds oppressive. Okay, so we've got the Devil, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles. We have someone here who is obsessed with getting everything they can for the cheapest price. Now, maybe that's literal purchases, or maybe that's just like, I'm never going to give you a raise. I told you what I was going to pay you at the very start, and that's what you get. If you don't like it, then I don't care. But I am kind of getting a sense of somebody here who does not know how to value human resources. This is someone who is coming through as a bit heartless. This person is not as smart as they think they are. Sun in the reverse. I mean, maybe they're just seen as very grumpy, but I feel like this is someone who people have to kind of tiptoe around, because when they're wrong, it's like if you tell this person they're wrong, they might lose their temper. But they expect everyone to be like perfect. This might not translate very well for you, but the like vision, like the image in my mind is from the Stepford Wives, where everyone was kind of like robotic and perfect, right? Having to do that because otherwise someone loses their mind. So what are boss's thoughts and plans? Three of Wands, Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, the Emperor, and the Two of Swords. Is this about firing or laying off? No. I feel like this is someone who wants to make things less tenable or less tolerant or tolerable to see who leaves. Or we could have some loyalty tests here with the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. It's like the boss wants to see if I change this on you, or if I do that, are you still going to be my employee? I don't like this. It's like a stress test designed to rattle people, or kind of like get people to react terribly. I don't know if this, are there like cameras? Yeah, I do feel like there's cameras here that you or others may not know about. It's like, I want to capture you doing something that I know you're doing, and I know you won't do it to my face. So I'm going to do something horrible, and then I'm going to set up cameras, and I'm going to see what your reaction is. Who is this person? Do they have a hobby? I feel like they need at least 3 hobbies to stop being so... Whew. Yeah, that's wild. I don't like this person. I hope this is making sense here, but yeah, I haven't gotten to the should I be concerned, but I am. Should say or be concerned. I feel like you're not the intended target. I do feel like there's specific people that this person or this leader does not like. And it's like, I'm trying to get those people frustrated, and if there's collateral damage, so be it. I do feel like there's protective energy around you, and I also feel like this person who has it out for others is not going to be the most effective and may let their emotions kind of ruin their plan, right? Yeah. It's not pleasant. But at the very least, I don't see you being the focus of it. But you're going to have to be kind of cautious as far as like where you're standing, who you're hanging out with, which you shouldn't have to be, right? If you're able to look for another job, I might, but you are not the target. All right, so good luck to you. And let's see what we've got for Suvik. What are Geet's feelings for Suvik? Knight of Wands, King of Wands, and the Fool. This is someone who has some, like, inconsistency in their views. They go back and forth. One day it's like, man, I really miss this person, or I feel like I need to text them, and, you know, I miss cuddling up next to them. And then the, you know, next minute they're thinking, but, you know, I don't want to deal with that person. I got to focus on something else. The Fool is like, I have to get just, you know, working on something, or I need to have a project because I don't want to think about Suvik. And what is the relationship status for Geet and Kiran? Ooh, Queen of Swords in the reverse. I would go with relationship status complicated. We've got some resentment, some arguing. Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. Someone expecting more than they should. And another person being kind of desperate at this point. Like, what do I need to do? What can I offer? Like, how can I make this right? But I don't know. This looks pretty tense. Yeah, Temperance in the reverse, which is instability or discord, and the Ace of Wands in the reverse. I feel like someone's lost physical attraction or is already contemplating, like, where does my life go on from here? Because clearly this person just doesn't get it. So I'm on the rocks. Not a very happy relationship at this point. And for Suvik, we also have, what are Satarupa's feelings for Suvik? Ten of Swords in the reverse. And the Magician. Four of Pentacles. This is someone who's on the kind of conservative side. I'm not really sure I should say too much. But also feeling a little bit more compelled to be honest. There's something they've been able to resolve. It feels like they've got something behind them that had previously caused issues. But they're still kind of like nervous to approach or confess. So they're still kind of keeping it. Maybe they're waiting for the right time, honestly. But this is somebody who feels like you are special. So it's positive. All right. Oh, Marcus. I don't know about that one. I do like you, Marcus. You're a nice person, so I'm gonna, but that's, I don't know. Do I really want to do this? What is the answer to Marcus's question? Ooh. Justice in the reverse and the Knight of Cups. It's kind of delayed. Up in the air. Wow, with a snake-looking ribbon on it too. Eight of Wands in the reverse. There's something here that has not been done that needs to be actually done. No, I would never do something like that. Nope. I don't do that. Like, I used to be much more into social media when I was younger. I would say Facebook, it was like one of the best days to like stop using Facebook altogether. I felt like my mental health was way better when I wasn't like dealing with everybody else's stuff on there. Would I like share some of that stuff? Yeah, I'm not opposed to it, but I also feel like, I don't know, there's just a certain amount of privacy that I like. Hello, Adam, how are you doing? Don't tell me what to do, though. I hope you're having a good day. I don't want to watch this again because I know I turned, like, probably bright red there. Let me see. There was someone here who had been kind of patient. Monkey is asking, will I be able to achieve what I am trying to achieve in a short time? No. Page of Wands in the reverse. You have some details wrong. We do have Strength and Three of Wands. I feel like you have done much of what you needed to, but there's a detail that needs to be reconsidered. Seven of Wands, it's about timing. The Empress and the Nine of Wands. There's something very important here that you need to defend. And that could be associated with this detail. The Nine of Wands, this is like, well, I mean, in this picture, it's an egg, right? I don't know how many of you had those challenges in like middle school where you had to keep an egg from breaking and like, I don't know, put it in a sponge or whatever. That's something about this is you have to keep something protective. Maybe it's you have to do right by an obligation. Maybe you have to do right by someone who has something else going on. But once the timing is right, then things go quickly for you. Thanks. Aw, that's sweet of you, Marcus. Hello, Nathan. How are you doing? Welcome to Earth. Only if you find that information that's missing, monkey. You gotta find something about your math is off. So you have to deal with that first. Otherwise, you could try to rush it and then it won't actually happen. So make sure you got all the ducks in a row, right? Hello, Mary. I'm going to leave it there. I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes. And thank you for hyping if you're able to. Toodles.